All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. Welcome to the Astra DAO AMA and Twitter space. We know it's been a while. We've been building and here to share some great updates with everybody. So, with that being said, I'll just kind of go through the agenda we have for today's AMA. We'll basically go through and give you a quick update on what Astra is about, the timeline, what we've been working on. For those of you who are new, we'll give you an overview on Astra, what has been done in V2 of Astra. Then we'll go through and talk about what's next coming up for this quarter with Astra and the roadmap. And we'll answer some questions taken from the community. With that being said, let's do some quick introductions. I'm Ian. I'm part of the Astra DAO board. Astra DAO is a project, a DeFi protocol that lets you passively invest in crypto, basically via index marketplaces. We've been building Astra for the last few years. It's an open source project. I'm part of the board. So is Ugo, who's here as well. And we have Tana, who's a community admin and mod. And we have Favor as well, who's also been helping with the project. We ask all of you to please raise your hand if you have any questions you want to pose during this AMA, and we'll get to them towards the end of this AMA. And thank you all for being part of the Astra community. Definitely share this with your friends and other people in crypto. We think Astra is one of the best ways to passively invest in crypto. That's why we've been working on this project. So with that being said, let me just briefly begin. So what is Astra DAO, right? So Astra DAO is an Ethereum-based DeFi protocol that lets you invest in indices, in crypto indices. It's a project that's been incubated by Tokenmetrics. Those of you are probably well versed with Tokenmetrics, but this lets you passively invest in crypto. So you can buy ETH, you can buy ERC20 tokens, create a portfolio, a basket of crypto assets, and have them be in crypto. Where the partnership comes with Tokenmetrics is we have our data, our AI indices, and also just AI signals. And we have a data API that came out last quarter that now allows you, so as part of the launch, it will allow you to create portfolios using the TM data API. So when we launch, the plan is to have individual, apologies, I'm getting buzzes on my phone here. Sorry. When we launch, the plan is to have indices that people can invest in using the Tokenmetrics data API. So I think this is one of the big value adds for the partnership between Astra DAO and Tokenmetrics. What does that mean? Let's say you want to use an AI signal from Tokenmetrics for trading Bitcoin. So basically, when it's bullish, you buy BTC. When it's bearish, you sell. So what we can do using Astra DAO is take WBTC, wrapped Bitcoin, basically the Ethereum version, right, backed by Bitcoin. And basically, when it's bullish, it will purchase WBTC. When it's bearish, it would sell it to stablecoin, Tether, for example. So we can automate that whole process using smart contracts and the Tokenmetrics data API and let people invest in that index. So you can basically follow along the Bitcoin trading signal on Tokenmetrics via Astra DAO passively. And I think that will be a great way for people to see the value add of having both the AI signals from Tokenmetrics and a DeFi protocol to invest in those signals. So the plan is to have probably the top 5 most liquid ERC20 tokens on Uniswap. So that would be basically wrapped BTC, Ethereum, Chainlink, Lido DAO, Polygon, and I think Uniswap. Those are typically the top active ERC20 tokens. So that's one aspect. Then we also plan on launching the Uniswap index from Tokenmetrics. So basically, it takes all the tokens on Uniswap and using an AI, goes through, finds those that have the highest Tokenmetrics grade, and builds a portfolio. And we plan to automate that whole process onto Astra DAO. So the Uniswap index on Tokenmetrics will be investable directly on Astra DAO. So those of you that want to follow that can just possibly invest in that index. So I think that will be a great way for people to see the use case for Astra DAO, and then from there, inviting others to come and build their own portfolios and become index managers basically directly on the platform. So Astra launched last year in August 2022. There was a slight hiccup in the sense that with Ethereum migrating from proof of work to proof of stake, we had to make changes to the smart contracts. And once we made those changes, we also made improvements to Astra. And we just finished our audit. Our audit report was published, I believe, this week. It's available on the website and also available via the Mirror post on the blog. In terms of the improvements that come with Astra V2, besides also just fixing general bugs, we've added gasless voting. So now being able to vote and partake in the DAO will be gasless, which is great. So no more having to pay gas fees just to vote. We've fixed staking and restake functionality, and there was an issue with that. That's been resolved. There's been a reduction of queue execution time after a proposal has been passed, and we've also reduced the gas fees for staking, and also reduced the staking cooldown period from 1 week to 1 day. The audit was done by Q Audit Firm, the firm in the crypto space based in Asia, and we're very glad because this is the third audit Tokenmetrics has. I'm sorry, not Tokenmetrics. Astra DAO has gone through. So the first audit was by audits have been done by Hacken, by Halpern. Halpern was the first one. The second one was Hacken, and third is Q Audit. So we've gone through 3 audits. So just making sure that the protocol is secure. And then we also have an upcoming bug bounty. So stay tuned for that. We'll have more information on the bug bounty. But we definitely want to make sure everything is in tip-top shape, because obviously as an index platform, people's funds will be in the index. So what's next with Astra? So right now we're slated to launch this month. So I would say we're targeting to launch in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So stay tuned. But definitely this month, now that the audit is complete, we're just going through some final testing, and then everything will be deployed to mainnet. Once we're fully launched, then we'll launch the indices. So we'll welcome the whole community to go out there and create indices. The plan is for Tokenmetrics Ventures, basically our fund, to put up capital and create indices that people can co-invest with us, right? So let's say a fund wants to create a portfolio, right? Anybody who wants to co-invest with us can join us, and then we'll invite other people to join, other launch partners, other people in the community, other influencers, and then we'll also announce the launch of the bug bounty that we're doing through Unify. So stay tuned on that. In terms of how people can use Astra and make money, well, Astra is a platform that lets you create an index. So the first step would be to become an index creator by creating your own index. And by creating your own index, you get a portion of the fees or the profits, basically a performance fee. So pretty much kind of like being an index manager. So let's say you create an index with a basket of portfolio of crypto assets, and over the course of 1 year, those indices end up making money. A portion of the fees go back to stakers, and a portion of the fees also go back to the index creator. So we highly encourage you to check that out. You can also use Astra by staking Astra tokens. You can stake Astra tokens and also I tokens. I tokens are index tokens you receive from investing into the indices. They represent ownership in that index, and by also providing liquidity to Astra via DEXs. So Astra is currently available on Uniswap, where it's trading currently. But yeah, those are the ways to partake in Astra as a whole. And what can you do as a community member? We encourage you go out there and read the new white paper. There's a V2, a version 2 of the white paper that's available. Just go to docs.astradao.org, docs.astradao.org. You can follow us on social media. We've been doing different community engagement and giveaways via Telegram and Twitter, and also via the newsletter and emails. So follow us across that. All right, so let me just pause there and see if anybody wants to chime in with anything else. Tana, Ugo?
Yeah, so a lot of people wondering, because we've been working on Astra DAO for such a long time, right? And it's finally now finishing, so we can actually relaunch. I guess, like Ian maybe wants to share a little bit more about that a little bit later. But yeah, overall, we've been very, very busy on the background, working on the indices, working on the staking side. I've also created some YouTube videos that are gonna go up. So there are going to be some brand new tutorial videos, which should let you visually and really easily understand how the entire system works, right? How to exactly stake, how to unstake, what are the benefits of locking your funds into a 6-month vault versus a 12-month vault. So there are differences there, and yeah, just being busy working on the entire project and making it a really good project, right? So in my opinion, there's no reason to ever rush because, as always, a rushed product is always known as a bad product. But a delayed product that comes out like proper is not going to have such problems, right? Of course, yeah,
Yeah.
we did we did have some problems in the initial launch, but yeah, we are now working on bulletproofing everything, and it's looking really good. I mean, the updates are really nice, and the gasless fees are not gasless, but the gas fees are now so much lower. And yeah, creating your indices, staking. I really see the vision here, like how different influencers or whoever, right, make their own proper crypto indices, and also then creating like governance proposals to be able to, on top of earning, profit on the indices if it goes well, on top of that you can create a governance proposal, right, to allow to stake your I tokens that you receive for that indice, right? So you receive the tokens, you can't do anything really with them unless like a proposal is gone through that allows
Yeah.
staking as well, so you can earn on top. And yeah, it's looking really good, and I really see the vision here. So we really need to make this really nice and then market the hell out of it.
All right. Well said, Tano. Okay, so there were some questions we received here from the community. So let me go through and read them. First question regarding VC investing, like those, like Tokemetrics Fund does in early stage projects that aren't yet in the market. Is it possible to integrate such an index for early stage investment for others to get exposure in on Astra DAO? Um, Good question. Now, in terms of investing in venture capital investments, I don't think that would be possible from a legal standpoint. That's kind of like basically investing in a syndicate. But if it's trading on exchanges like a DEX, so early on, initially, Tokemetrics Ventures, the fund, does plan to create indices directly on the platform. So anybody can co-invest into Tokemetrics Ventures indices. So let's say we have a portfolio of new projects that maybe aren't on centralized exchanges yet, but are early stage, and we think they're solid or they meet our threshold for investing, and they're trading on a DEX. I think that's something that would be available. Or let's say in the future, maybe even getting Ethereum-based projects that are in our funds portfolio, if they're trading on an exchange, making them available as a portfolio for others to co-invest with us. But in terms of those that want to invest in illiquid projects that aren't trading yet, that's going to be tough, unfortunately. Then, next question: what is the plan in place to ensure that Astra DAO can capture a huge market share from already established competition and to reach a market cap above 200 million? Now, we can't comment directly on price and market cap and all that, but in terms of us getting market share, right? So basically growing the project. So one, I think the unique partnership between Astra DAO and Tokemetrics and Tokemetrics Ventures will be one that is well received this quarter, right? So for example, as I mentioned earlier, being able to take our AI signals and indices on Tokemetrics and make them available on Astra DAO and automate that entire process using the Tokemetrics Data API, and then having Tokemetrics Ventures launch indices as well and put up the capital, because to launch an index does require a minimum that's set by the index creator. So let's say, and the reason there's a minimum is due to just gas fees, because all the index users, people who invest in the index, they basically split sharing the gas fees. So if you have to rebalance the index on a weekly basis, there will be gas fees on Ethereum until we launch onto other L2s. But let's say the minimum to invest in an index early on is, let's say Tokenmetrics Ventures creates an index and says the minimum for this to launch is 100K, right? So rather than waiting for people to put up 100K, TM Ventures, the fund, will pull up that capital, and then others can co-invest in that index, right? So by TM Ventures putting up the capital, it will basically be a lot easier for people to invest directly in that index and pay lower fees. So that's one element. In terms of other ways to get market share, by just creating content, right? So we have a YouTube channel that's pretty huge, over 100,000 subscribers. And with that channel, we'll show people directly how we're using Astra DAO to invest in crypto and automating that process using the data API for tokenmetrics. And I think that will just bring more awareness and more eyeballs. And as that happens, we think that would be a lot better for the community to grow. And then we also do plan to partner with some other strategic partners going forward to help with community growth. So stay tuned on that. Next question we have here. What are the marketing strategies in place to attract index creators, investors, and other users to Astra DAO, given that the DAO projects haven't really been a focus of attraction in crypto lately? In other words, why should someone come and pool funds on Astra DAO, given that many big established exchanges already offer such competitive products? Well, I think once again goes back to what I mentioned earlier, the unique partnership of taking everything we have on tokenmetrics, at least what's Ethereum based, and automating that process so people can passively invest in those signals and ratings and indices. So I think that will be a big value add. And then we have lots of other content creators that also received the Astra DAO airdrop, and we plan to start reaching out to them and kind of building more general community awareness in terms of what Astra is doing, having them hopefully create some content on it, right? So people that did that did receive the airdrop include people like BitBoy, Crypto Love, and others. They're part of the airdrop because they're part of the community in terms of tokenmetrics. So just having people kind of get the word out there.
Also,
go ahead, Tana.
Yeah, I wanted to chime in on the marketing side because we have such a large audience already, like on tokenmetrics, right? So we can leverage that, and also we're going to be creating an ambassador program as well. So anyone can join it and help us grow together, right? Because it's a really legit, good project out there, right? So it should work out really well. It's just we need to grow the community, right? So we need people to actually use and see how well Astra can perform for them. And because we have such a large audience already on tokenmetrics, I think we should be pretty fine from the get-go.
Something to add too, in addition to influencers that got tokens, we'll probably reach out to other influencers and figure out just how to incentivize them to also create indices and bring their audience into Astra as well. That way we can get the network effect and get more people to start to use the platform. Astra has a lot of utility, different things. Governance is one, and many other utilities. So I feel like there are different points where there's going to be demand of Astra for utility token in a sense. So definitely getting the word out to all these influencers will really help. And they already have something that they can brag to their community, because I think one of the questions says that some YouTube influencers like to talk about their portfolio. So now you can actually make that a reality and have people follow it as well. So looking forward to that.
So something to add here is what I thought would be funny if exchanges create their own indexes and see who comes out on top. That would be pretty interesting to see.
Yes, yeah. Well said, Tano and Ugo. And that kind of answered a question somebody had earlier regarding YouTubers and having them create portfolios. So that's something we do plan to educate people on how to do, so especially content creators. Okay, next question we have here. Looking at the working mechanism of Astra DAO in regards to the I tokens and collateral to be pulled on the platform, it shows a lot of real funds are going to be involved in this and will attract a lot of hackers. What plans besides code auditing are in place to ensure use of funds are secured on the platform? Great question and very, very fair question, especially in a time like this here in crypto. Well, one, as mentioned, the platform has been audited 3 times by 3 different firms in the space that are well known. So that gives us confidence. Two, as mentioned earlier, we do plan to launch a bug bounty through Immunify. So basically, anybody that finds any bugs or potential vulnerabilities will have an incentive to disclose that and hopefully not hack the platform, right? So just really giving people a safe pathway towards sharing any vulnerabilities. And then we're also looking into ways for us to partner with other DeFi protocols that provide insurance. So that's something that's in the roadmap as well. But we definitely do want to make sure that people's capital is being protected. And then in the future, once Astra launches and has more adoption, one of the things we'd like to do is actually get the protocol formally verified to make sure that everything works as intended from a mathematical perspective. Basically, for those who aren't familiar, formal verification is a process used to verify very serious, almost life or almost life or death or vital software technology. So, for example, like rockets being sent to the moon, you have to make sure if you're sending people into the moon or into outer space that the software works exactly as intended without any bugs or any vulnerabilities. So think of it as a super audit that basically does not guarantee, but it's the closest you get when it comes to making sure everything works as intended and there'll be no hiccups. Now, it is very, very expensive to get code formally verified, but it's something that we would like to do in the future as Astra grows and as the DAO treasury grows as well. But yeah, that's kind of the plan in terms of keeping collateral secure on the platform. Okay, next question. Ethereum, as we already know, is the primary platform to launch Astra DAO, utilizing Uniswap as a DEX for liquidity pooling. What is the next platform to launch on, and what's the time frame? Arbitrum or Polygon? Great question. So our time frame to launch onto L2s would be, I would say, in sometime in Q2 is the time frame. So once we launch on Ethereum and L1, and we have some traction there, then the next step would be to launch onto other L2s. So the ones we're looking at are Arbitrum, Optimism, and Polygon, and then also in the future Coinbase's base layer. But we don't want to launch all of them at the same time because that would fragment liquidity for the indices. So we want to first start with Ethereum-based indices and then focus on other L2s one by one, right? So I think the first one would likely be Arbitrum, since that has the highest adoption. Okay, next question. We know Tokenomics has never been really keen on Binance Smart Chain due to it being kind of centralized, but wouldn't it make sense to as well integrate Astra DAO to using PancakeSwap? So Binance, basically BNB chain and PancakeSwap, that's something we can look at in the future. It is an EVM chain, but as mentioned, we have to kind of figure out the best path forward and not launch on too many at the same time. Then last, any plans to get enough liquidity on Uniswap? The slippage there is really too high, not really a positive vibe. Well, now that the project is going to be relaunching, it will be a lot easier. So we do have the liquidity pools. So once we launch that, and we think the incentives will be there with the rewards for liquidity. Okay, Tana and Ugo, anything else you guys want to chime in with?
Maybe a little bit about when we actually now plan to relaunch as the audits completed, right? So maybe we can talk about when we aim to launch? I think Ian maybe can answer this better.
Yes. I mean, target launch date, I would say, is in 1 to 2 weeks is the target launch date. We'll have an official post once that is ready.
Yeah, so that's pretty good news. So not long to go anymore, and that should be it. 1 to 2 weeks. So yeah, anybody who has been following us for a long time, then yeah, definitely be ready in about a week or two, and then check out the site. And we should have videos on YouTube as well to help you guide through the entire site, right? So videos about like tutorials about staking and grading indices, and also like just the overall site, right? So what's it all about and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely should be pretty good content to consume, and then make your decisions what exactly to do. Yeah, Ugo, Ian, you want to add maybe something?
No, that's basically it. I think let's now open up the floor and bring people up on stage. If anybody has any questions they would like to ask, please just raise your hand and we'll bring you on stage. Okay, do we have anybody who wants to come on stage? Not sure if I'm not saying it here.
Maybe stage fright.
Well, I think people maybe are just excited that the launch is so close. I know I would. I'm very, very excited for this day. Looking forward to showing people the power of Astra DAO.
Yeah, we're pretty good. I think we covered like everything we wanted to cover in this Twitter space. And yeah, if anybody doesn't really want to speak, that's no problem. You can leave comments down below in Twitter or Telegram, right? And yeah, if we launch the
YouTube, do we have any other questions from the Telegram or Discord or Twitter?
Yeah, I checked. No, there's nothing really at the moment. So
okay, all right. Well, it's definitely been a pleasure. Very, very excited, as mentioned, for the launch. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great month for Astra DAO. Definitely spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Not using Astra is not good, right? Because as the mascot says, basically our goal is kind of to help people passively invest in crypto, and we think Astra is going to be pretty much the only platform you need to do that. And we'll show that through the launches of the different indices, right? So whether you're trading Ethereum-based tokens or even, let's say, Bitcoin, as mentioned in the example, right? Wrap Bitcoin. If you want to passively and actively invest in crypto or just an individual token like Bitcoin, you can do that through Wrap BTC, and will be automated using the data API from Tokenmetrics, and you can co-invest directly in that index, and even potentially co-invest directly into portfolios our fund has, Tokenmetrics Ventures has. So I think it's pretty cool. It's giving people access.
So yeah, I guess we're gonna be doing a few Twitter spaces here and there more, and also, right, if you're listening to this podcast a little bit later, right, be sure to jump by. Maybe if you have any questions, write them down so we can actually answer them in these Twitter spaces. And yeah, right now I'm also looking at Telegram, and one user is saying that great answers to all my questions, very much appreciated, looking forward to the relaunch. So yeah, definitely your voice is going to be heard, and yeah, don't be shy, ask some questions, and maybe if you want, you can also speak to us one-to-one in the Twitter space. But yeah, I think that's gonna conclude everything today. So we're gonna try to have this Twitter Space AMA on YouTube in a few days as well, so you can re-listen to this or share it with your other investor friends. So yeah, that's gonna be it from us, I guess. Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, thank you, and, everybody. It's been a pleasure.
Have a nice.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have a nice
weekend.
Thank
you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, and have a great week.